So let's just take a look briefly at the paradox theory. We've done this through the level 1 in great detail, and then in level 2, Janet, for your benefit, we looked at patterns among the paradoxes. So, if we're just remembering that paradox is looking at traits that in combination, while they seem contradictory, are really complementary. So the ideal spot in the paradox, of course, is the balanced versatility, in this case, the forthright diplomacy. And we use this image to just think about the juxtaposition of contrasting elements that together make in harmony just, a beautiful picture. And so we do have the 4 paradoxes that, or quadrants that an individual can measure in based on their 2 scores, and makes it very impactful to be able to see how imbalances might impact an individual's behavior or fit with various roles. So Catherine was in the blunt part of the graph, but someone else might be in the diplomatic part of the graph. And occasionally we will see somebody who at least splashes into the lower quadrant. And of course, the ideal being the forthright diplomacy. And again, just some images to think about if you have an aggressive imbalance, how that can blunt one's view of a situation or relationships with other people. Or on the other side of it, if you have a passive imbalance, how the unintended consequences of an evasive view can really obscure the vision or the understanding that people might have, in this case with the communication paradox. And then when you do have that balanced versatility, how clearly one can see, and this picture representing, even the birds in flight, we're able to see very clearly all the elements, big and small, as you talk with people and relationships in different situations. So again, the balanced versatility to show how you can have the 12 different paradoxes. And what I wanted to point out, and we won't take time to show this video, I can share it with you, send it to you if you would like, is that each individual has a unique profile. So you have to be able to be open to that uniqueness. So even though the JSA is focused on how do they fit that role, there's other factors that we want to consider. Maybe some strengths the individual has beyond the fit with the role that makes them a great fit with the boss, or the great fit with a team, or the great fit for the culture. And it's the uniqueness of the Harrison profile that gives it so much potential. And so I'm going to come out of this just so we don't take the time to look at that. But that's a very, very moving video that expresses that, the value of that uniqueness. And Janet, what we covered very carefully in the level 1 training was to look at what happens when someone is out of balance, how the derailers impact their ability to perform or to have effective relationships, and how that also creates stress behaviors. And then we also look at what is the solution, and in order to move into the balance of versatility. And I took the motion away, but basically you're developing the weaker trait, which pulls the score into the forthright diplomacy and causes the bluntness to diminish, or the stress behavior to diminish. And we have both the summary report. I better put this back on slideshow so we can see that. So we have That's just an explanation of paradox. We have the summary report of all 12 paradoxes. And then as you see in your own report, we have the detailed reports. And everyone going through the certification learns how to use those in the debrief process to focus in on the various places in the graph that you can score, and then how you can look at the definitions and understand really what's being measured and the actual behavior of the individual's tendencies at the bottom of the detailed report.